All right, guys, welcome to the channel. This is my 2017 Chevy Silverado 1500. It's got the V8. It's the 5.3 L83 motor. We've got an AC condenser leaking. This is like, apparently it's a common problem. This is the AC condenser right here. You can see how there's some, like, kind of like an oil spot right there where that weld is. That's where all the Freon is leaked out from. I want to show you how to get to this point here and then how I'm going to replace this and then kind of just the procedure. Give you a couple of tips along the way. So to get to this point where the AC condenser is exposed, there's a couple things we have to remove. This snorkel, kind of the intake box, we remove that. There's these two pipes on the side here. Just push up on this plastic, this gray clip, those come off. So there's one on that side, one over here. Remove the hose clamp around the throttle body, that comes off. Remove the air box, just the 4 screws around that perimeter of the air box. I've got that lifted out of the way. The air box then comes out. You can pop that out. And then there's a black plastic shield here. It's got like 20 push pin clips. That's pretty easy. That comes out. Looks like this here. So just push out all the pins out. And then there's a metal beam. This was the hardest part so far. There's a metal beam that goes across here that needs to be removed. There's 9 bolts. So there's one here, 13 mil here. 13 mil on the back, the radiator, and 13 here. So those are the 3 in the front here, and then there's 3 on each side underneath this. And you need to, I use this swiveling ratcheting wrench to get these off. There's one here, there's one under here, and then there's one up into this corner here. So you remove all 3 of those. And then same on this side. 1, 2, 3, but the head's underneath here, so you've got to kind of reach underneath here. Ratcheting wrench works good here. Here I was able to use an electric wrench, snake through here, reach into here with an extension, so otherwise that one's hard to get to. Once you get that, you can kind of pry that piece out and get it, so that's where we're at. This is where we're at right now. Oh, there's actually this piece here, kind of like a shield that goes on top. Once you get the metal beam off, it will clip right here. Just pry this little clip back, and you can see how it kind of latches in right there. So this just pulls up. So just get that out of the way. Here's what the new one looks like. So this is the driver's side. There's just a connection here, a transmission line there, and then there's another transmission line here, and then this is where the Freon line's hooking down here. There's like this 90-degree. Let me show you how that looks inside the truck. All right, so here we are looking down. There's just a couple bolts we have to take out. See if I can get a good shot of this. So this is where the light here is sitting where the airbox is. It comes down. You can see that 90-degree turn down there. There's a 10-millimeter bolt right there. That comes out. And then under where the airbox sits is where that Freon lines hook up. So there's that little stud there. We just take off that bolt there. That'll disconnect the AC, the Freon lines, and that'll free up the condenser to pull that out. All right, to disconnect these transmission lines, we just have to pull back this little plastic piece here. There's a little clip. There's a little clip that's holding this transmission line in. So I've got a really tiny screwdriver here, flathead. Pry up a little bit so you can get it like a little pick tool underneath that and remove it. It's like a little C-clip that hooks onto the transmission line. All right, to get this off, I use this pry tool, and I just positioned it right there, and I tried doing this by hand, but it just wouldn't come, so I used this pry tool, kind of leveraged it a little bit, and just pushed against it, and it came out. So I'm getting a little bit of leakage of transmission fluid here. That side, I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side as well. All right, got the clip out of that one. Move that line out of the way a little bit here. All right, with that other transmission line out of the way at the top here, you can see on the bracket there's a 10-millimeter bolt there. I need to get that off. I'm gonna work on that one first. Ended up using a pneumatic air ratchet 3/8 with just a 10 mil socket. Reached it down in there, removed that. Get a magnet on there too. I used a magnet to get that out. Okay, disconnecting the AC lines here. Let me show you. I'm using a swivel ratcheting 13 mm right there. So this is under the airbox tray. There's a little stud with a 13 mm bolt on it. this swivel ratcheting wrench, it's a longer handle. This actually works really good. So I'm just gonna loosen that up and I'll be able to disconnect the line. All right, I got the AC lines disconnected here. All right, there's 2 clips on each side here, and then one same over on this side. Let me show you how they work. I used a flathead screwdriver. So see how there's like a little tab right there? If you gotta push the tab in, because this metal part right here is attached to the condenser. So you push this tab in to release the clip. Once it's pushed back in enough, you can then pull this up. Okay, that clip is pushed in, and this metal tab can now lift up. So see how this lifts up like that? So we just make sure they're both released. And then we just need to make sure, there's a stud on the end of that, and we kind of have to maneuver that out as we take it out. All right, I've got it released from the clips. Now it's just a matter of, because the 90-degree goes underneath the air box, it's just a matter of maneuvering it so that you can get it out. Okay, if you get it in, once you get that stud and you move it over a little bit, it can then, looks like it clears. So see right there, see this stud right here? We're gonna swap that over to the new one. Okay, here's the old one. This is the new one. We're gonna swap over this stud here. This just comes out. It's like an inverse Torx. Looks like a 5.5 millimeter would fit on top of that. So I'm just gonna reverse that stud out, thread it back into there, and then there's these plastic shrouds that I'm gonna remove and put back on here. And then there's this bracket here that's holding it. I'm just gonna take that off, slip that on there. All right, got everything transferred over. It's ready to go back in. Just carefully get it in here. You still have I have the stud on here. And how I'm gonna do that is I wanna get as close to the radiator as possible. Like that, there we go. All right, so I got that down there. That's about where that goes. And you can see I just need to clip this in. All right, guys, so just wrapping this up. I got all the connections down here. So I've got the mount screwed in there. I've got the AC lines connected. I have the transmission lines with those clips back in. So really everything else now is just gonna be the reverse. Everything else, putting the shield back on, putting the metal brace on, everything back together, and you're good to go. I am taking this to the dealer to get recharged. I don't know when this happened. For example, this is, if you look on here, this tells you the type of refrigerant that this truck needs, the 1234YF refrigerant. And that's apparently a newer style, and some of the independent auto shops I talked to, they don't have that, or it was hard to get, or it was very expensive or something, so they said just take it to the dealer. So that's why I'm going to the dealer to get it I'm gonna get the lines vacuumed and then recharged, and my AC should be good to go. Guys, well, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully this is helpful. It's unfortunate that this is a widespread problem with these vehicles, the Silverado and Sierras with this AC condenser, but it's not that bad. The parts are relatively inexpensive. It's just gonna be the recharging, the vacuuming process. I've seen quotes anywhere from $1,200 all the way to $1,800 to get this replaced at a shop. So I'm glad I tackled this myself. Guys, but thanks for watching the video. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.